6:05 now to the latest on the start of the Trump administration. An unusual sight yesterday where hours after becoming the 47th president, Donald Trump began signing dozens of executive orders in the middle of Washington, D.C.'s Capital One Arena, where the NHL hockey team and NBA Wizards play, surrounded by thousands of supporters, cheering after each of those orders was signed. Trump's team says he made over 200 executive actions over the course of the entire day.
Yeah, and many of those actions are already affecting thousands of people across the country, with many of the impacts being felt here in California.
Let's take a look at some of the biggest executive orders that were actually signed yesterday. Shortly after being sworn in, he issued a number of orders cracking down on immigration, one declaring an emergency at the U.S.-Mexico border. The president says the process will start to send anyone in the country illegally back to their country of origin. And drug cartels are now being designated as foreign terrorist organizations. He also ordered an end to birthright citizenship, but that order already facing lawsuits.
And Trump was also quick to reverse Biden-era climate change policies. He's declared a national emergency over high energy prices in hopes to increase the production of oil and gas in the United States. He's also directed the U.S. to withdraw itself from the Paris Climate Accords and begin the process of rolling back a federal tax credit for anyone who purchases an electric vehicle.
He also issued a sweeping pardon to all people who were charged in connection to the January 6 riots at the nation's capital. That includes rioters who did attack police. Some of those people have already been released from prison and have thanked the incoming president for the pardon. We'll break down each of their actions and their expected impact on Californians throughout the course of this newscast.
But first, we are seeing how undocumented people in our community are being affected right now. ABC 10's Candace Red is live in Sacramento with more on this story. Good morning, Candace.
Good morning. Well, let's go ahead and get straight to it. We know that President Donald Trump, well, he is keeping his promise to the American people. He ran a campaign focused on immigration, from mass deportation to securing our border. Now that he is in office, Trump already signed, as you mentioned, several executive orders, many of them focused on immigration. Now, he declared a national emergency at the southern border. This will allow the Department of Defense to deploy as many members of the armed forces as possible to the border. It will also use more resources to build a wall and other physical barriers. Now, Trump's mass deportation plan is also rolling out. He took an executive action to pursue everyone illegally in the U.S. Well, this could possibly impact at least 11 million people in the country without legal status. Well, we spoke with some immigrant advocates. They say they're concerned about Trump's policies. Take a listen.
We know what's coming. We knew this was happening, yet I think that right now the panic, the feeling of panic, the feeling of uncertainty is what's looming over all of us right now.
When you have the interest of the federal government to work closely with local law enforcement to be able to facilitate deportations, then that causes great alarm and great concern in the community.
Now, as we mentioned earlier in the show, Trump also signed an executive order to end birthright citizenship in the U.S. Now, under the 14th Amendment, anyone born in the U.S. is automatically a U.S. citizen. But you know what? The White House said the federal government will not recognize automatic birthright citizenship for children born in the U.S. to parents without legal status. Well, in response, Governor Gavin Newsom, he released a short statement. He said, quote, "This is unconstitutional," end quote there. And as we mentioned, we did speak with some immigrant advocates. Well, they say that mass deportations could impact every state and all immigrant communities, not just Latino communities. They're urging people to do at least 3 things: carry identification, know their rights, and talk to an attorney. In Sacramento, Candace Red, ABC 10.
All right, Candace, thank you.